Hello, welcome back to another Anurakti Tarot pick a card reading. Well, it's going to be pick a pal. How's everybody doing? Happy 420. I hope everybody's enjoying their day. Blessings and peace. So today the pick a card reading is going to be what sparks your creativity. We also have cards that are going to let us know what this creativity is helping you to achieve at this time. So again, the reading is what sparks your creativity. We have pile number 1, which is Rhodonite heart. 103103 is the number. So pile number 1 is Rhodonite 103103. Pile number 2 is Citrine, which is 88288. Pile number 3 is Rose Quartz, which is 77077. So again, pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. Pile number 1, Rhodonite heart 103103. Pile number 2, Citrine 88288. Pile number 3 is Rose Quartz 77077. So go and take a minute and pick your pile. And Masters, thank you for filling this space and keeping us protected at all times. Thank you for our gifts and your guidance. We use our gifts for the highest and greatest good of all. Okay, so we're going to start with pile number 1. I'm just going to set that right there. Okay, pile number 1. So we're going to set aside the Rose Quartz pile. Going to set aside the Citrine pile, and we're going to get started with pile number 1. Uno, Rhodonite heart. So the first couple of things I heard when I was working with this pile, this could definitely be a pile that is very connected to children. That was just something I instantly felt. You could have a very childlike energy, or children could definitely be something that sparks your creativity. You could love like spending time with children or doing activities with children. Also, I hope I didn't mix those cards up, but if I did, it was meant to happen that way. 103103. Also, 1010 is a number for me that's all about new beginnings, and threes are all about expansion. They're also about motherhood, growth. This could be motherhood of pets, mothering pets or children. So what I automatically pull from this group is that this group is deeply connected with children. So I did pull cards to verify what is this creativity, what is your creativity helping you to achieve. So we'll do those last. So we have some tarot here. We're going to start with the tarot. So the tarot cards, we put Adiletta of Earth, Yucca. So Yucca is a very sturdy, it's like a potato. Right? Yucca's like a potato. So we have Yucca, Adiletta of Earth, Mother of Earth, the 2 of Cups, 2 of Water, and the Star, which is Cottonwood. This is the Herb Crafters Tarot deck I'm using. And I'm also going to be using that in collaboration with the Manzel Tarot deck. You have the Ace of Swords, the 2 of Pentacles, and the Fool card. So again, so far, pile number 1, what I think inspires you is definitely spending time with kids. I'm just going to say spending time with children. You could already have a child, or you could have 2 children. Maybe you have 2 girls. I'm definitely seeing 2 girls here. For sure, 2 female children here. Could definitely be very important. You could even have twin children, or maybe twins is something that is common in your family. So I'm automatically going to say that what inspires you is spending time with your mother, your grandmother, and the children in your family. You could come from a family that is very that honors the matriarch a lot. Like the men tend to follow the women or listen to what the women have to say. The women are kind of in charge. Ace of Swords is kind of like you guys make the laws. So you could come from a very matriarchal household or entire family unit. So another thing that I also feels like is that inspires you could be like going and watching movies late at night. Also, you could be just inspired. Something about the nighttime is very inspiring to you. Maybe it sparks those creative abilities more. I mean, the nighttime is also, like I said, when the veil is thin. So for here for me, this is definitely saying you're definitely inspired when you spend time with children, a grandmother or mother figure, or the matriarchs in your family. Definitely something about twins and children. Also, what inspires you, two of water and two of pentacles. Also, what inspires you, I know this may sound weird, but I just heard about The Land Before Time. So you could have really liked the movie Land Before Time. Or you could be inspired by dinosaurs, for sure. You could definitely be into fossils and things of that nature. With the star card here, this just reminds me of the tree star from Land Before Time. So you could definitely love dinosaurs and children's movies also. That is definitely something that inspires you. Pixar films, films with dinosaurs, films with fossils. Also, being around matriarchal women that are very, very powerful, that kind of lead their households, that lead their families. So what else inspires, what else sparks group number one's creativity? You pull Jupiter, which is expansion, and this could not be better for the number 3. Jupiter is all about expansion. Enthusiasm, optimism, generosity, benevolence, beliefs, luck, seeking, travel, positivity, lectures, foreign cultures, teaching, pilgrimage, chance, expansion, leaping, exploration, and potential. I think this is why you're really inspired by children, because you love kind of exploring new things. You love being a pioneer. You could be somebody that's very creative. You could work a lot with your hands. You could make quilts and baskets. You could do a lot of home projects, like making like wreaths with flowers from your garden. You could maybe be somebody that like goes and cuts your own sage and bundles your own flowers. For sure. I'm not picking up a lot of gardening in this deck, but you could just be inspired by the act of doing something with the plants. Going and buying the plants and creating something with it. Things of that nature. Also, you pulled the 4th house, which is roots. Again, like I said, being very connected to the family. So this to me also speaks about being very close to the matriarchal women in your family, being very connected to your mother, your auntie, your sisters, and their children. Family, home, background, comfort, cooking, inner world, real estate, shelter, self-care, rejuvenation, habits, and shell. I'm also going to assume about you, pile number 1, is that you work an untraditional job. I don't think that you go and work, like, you don't leave the house to go to a 9-to-5. You're somebody that spends a lot of time at home. So whatever you do for a living, it allows you to be at home. Maybe you are a stay-at-home mom. So maybe you're also inspired by other mothers. You may be a part of, like, I don't know, a mother's club, if that's possible. Or maybe something that your children do together. It brings you mothers together while your children are playing at the playground. Maybe you paint or something like that. This to me is being very, very, very inspired by children, being around children and being around mothers, that mothering energy, that matriarchal energy. You also pulled here numerology, precision. So you could be really good at like teaching children math. Also here with this numerology card, like I said, this deck is all about, you could be a math teacher. This deck is all about children. So you could be a math teacher. You could just be a teacher in general. Also, if you don't, if you are working outside the home, you could definitely be a teacher. You could also like be teaching like sewing classes. Yeah, you could definitely teach like sewing or quilting classes or something like that. You also pulled containment here. So you could definitely be interested in learning recipes from other women. That could be something else why you are very inspired by other women and children. You could be teaching children how to cook, but also you could be learning old family recipes also. That's why you spend a lot of time around the matriarch or the matriarchs in your family. What else about pile number one's creativity? Dawn, the light after darkness. The light after darkness just inspires to me giving birth to a kid, a child. Children spend a lot of time in the womb, and I guess you could say the womb is a dark place. So you could definitely also be like a doula. I know I don't have the Queen of Cups, but to me, you could definitely be somebody that's also, that would make a good midwife or a doula for sure. So you could definitely be inspired by this also. Anything that helps nurture children and mothers, babysitting, motor skills classes. I don't know what they call them, but when they, they take their kids to the motor skills classes, they have all those, I don't know, the motor skill classes. I don't know the name of it, so I apologize. What else about pile number one's creativity? Unfelt emotions. So maybe this is why you're really inspired by children, because you kind of connect with them when they're not able to explain themselves. There's a lot of blue on this card and this card. There's a lot of blue. Blue for me is all about calming energy. It's all about water. It's also about blue is about water. It's about calming. It's also about the throat chakra is what I was trying to say. So this is all about speaking your truth. So maybe you're somebody that struggles to express how you feel. Maybe you're better at just, you could be somebody that kind of set expectations but don't say what you need. Like you want people to assume what you need rather than saying it here with the Queen of Unfelt Emotions. People that do that, they tend to be complainers. Like maybe you just complain about certain things and you just want it to kind of be done. But this is also saying be aware of communicating. This could be why you're inspired by children, because like I said, children can sometimes struggle with communicating. They're learning language. They're learning about social skills. So for here, this is also be mindful that you are communicating appropriately what you need and making sure your needs are met, especially here with the heart chakra. There's a lot of heart here. Rhodonite. That's a rhodonite heart. Also about healing childhood issues. So this could definitely be a pile. Like I said, you're inspired by children. You're inspired by matriarchs. You're inspired by being around other women. Definitely childlike energy. You're inspired by movies, child movies, Shrek, Pixar films, Minions. Could be a math teacher also. What else do we pull? Oh, happiness. Very, very happy, happy, happy. Happiness. You pulled the common buck eye. So you could be, look at this. This is very interesting to me too. Like the eyes on their wings, right? See the eyes on this butterfly's wings? They match the eyes on her mask, right? So you're definitely somebody that maybe deals with the emotions of a lot of other people, like you deal with a lot of other people's emotions, so maybe you don't feel comfortable expressing your own. It's important to be mindful that you have a buckeye around me is just, I like this. So this definitely means that you have a male figure around you that is very trustworthy and very loving, and that is fulfilling your needs that you're not expressing. So this is really good. Somebody just understands your love language. You may not be much of a communicator when it comes to expressing your own emotions to adult people, but you're very well at communicating it with children and understanding what children want and getting them to express their emotions. But it's something that you may struggle with. But you have a very strong male energy around you that is very protective of you, that is very courageous. This person could definitely be like a firefighter or somebody that works in some sort of dangerous field. They're very supportive of you, and they understand your love language. So for them, they know that to spark your creativity, they just have to they know what you need. They just kind of know what you need. They know if you needed a cozy blanket. They may just like leave you money or things like that. If you're in a relationship, or if you have like some sort of male figure around you, it could be a brother, uncle, a cousin, a really close friend. It does not have to be a romantic partner. Also, look at this. This is awesome. This is a very feminine energy. So like I said, if you see that this is a woman and she's honoring kind of all her ancestors in the back. So this is why I would say that you're definitely highly connected to matriarchs, women in your family, women that have passed on. maybe want to collect, I feel like you want to collect all the information you can from the women that are here present with you now and with this tree. Oh my goodness. You want to collect all the information you can from women that are here now, to help make sure you have a strong family, to make sure your own family is strong. There's a number 4 on this card. You got 2 twice. You got 2, 4, and 4. 0. That's the number 8. Okay, I was just looking for synchronicities. So again, this is, to me, is all about being inspired by the matriarch, being inspired by children, being around children, playing with them in the playground. I mean, just being with them in the household, hanging out with them in the living room. You're somebody that's very engaging with children. Like, you're not somebody that puts the TV on and expects them to watch TV. You're somebody that comes up with really creative games. You're just really, really amazing with children. Like I said, you could be a mother, you could have twins, but you're very, very, you could have a twin yourself also. This is being very, very inspired by children and spending time with them, and also with matriarchal women and matriarchal energy and other mothers. So let's see what this, your creativity is helping you to achieve. Oh, I love this. The Moon card, the Knight of Swords. So the King of Swords is somebody that doesn't wear, like, he's very compassionate. So you're definitely a compassionate spirit. But the King of Cups may not always, like, necessarily express his emotions. He may feel deeply here with the Moon card. He feels things very, very deeply. Can be a very, very emotional person. This is strong Pisces and Scorpio energy. I have to combat this straight down to Pisces and Scorpio energy. I know it's the Moon and we could say Cancer, so I throw Cancer in there. But for me, this is Pisces and Scorpio energy, because Scorpios tend to be the most mysterious, but Pisces are also mysterious. Cancers aren't quite that, I don't find them to be that mysterious. So this is definitely Pisces and Scorpio energy. It is helping you to kind of awaken like old emotions, old fears. Maybe you had a fear of dogs. You could also have like a fear of heights also. Maybe, you know, you kind of had, maybe you grew up around brothers, or maybe you grew up around brothers or something like that kind of made you test your fears a lot, or kind of made you do adventurous and scary things. So you developed some sort of fears. Maybe you've hurt yourself before growing up. You could have broken an arm or something like that. So what this is helping you to achieve, what your creative ability is helping you to achieve, is to awaken other deeper emotions and kind of go through, like I said, unfelt emotions, because the Moon can be about feeling unfelt emotions. I'll turn it this way so you can see it. So rushing towards, I mean, this just changes the story now, but if I turn it this way, it goes back to what it was. Now the story is correct, how I'm seeing it. So this is kind of like rushing towards unfelt emotions and being compassionate for yourself and finding a way to express those emotions. So this is helping you to achieve gratitude in your life, to be grateful for. Like I said, you definitely have a male figure around you that really cares about you and is really supporting you and helping you work through these emotions. So being grateful for those that are helping you work through your emotions, as these children are definitely grateful for you. There is not a lot of people that have this skill of really being able to be a sound, healing, and safe space for children. So I have to give you immense kudos for that. Beliefs come true also. So this is also helping you to work through beliefs of feeling unworthy or anything like that. This, like I said, could be connected to childhood issues. Maybe you were around people that were kind of mean towards you or something like that, made you feel undervalued. Respond versus react. I immediately heard this is something that you've mastered, because you're able to work, you're awesome working with children. So you're able to kind of get children to understand how to respond versus react, getting them to think wisely. This can be young adults also. You're just amazing working with kids, and that completely inspires you. So also inner peace, you put the most of these cards. Inner peace was also pulled. So you could be somebody that likes to do a lot of yoga. Water, being by water is really good for you, like swimming and things like that. Is very, very healing for you. You also pulled paradigm shift and what is this? I'm tripping. Specificity matters. So specify exactly what you want, but I think you've already done that. Like I said, this is spending a lot of time in the house, or from a home. This can be the schoolhouse too. We used to call it the schoolhouse. So this can be if you work at a school. Paradigm shift could definitely mean maybe you come up with a lot of new ideas on how to get children to critically think, to get them active, to get them working on their own genius and creativity. Like I said, this is being very profound, working with children, and they are what inspires you. So pile number one, excuse me. That was your reading on what inspires and sparks your creativity. If that pile did not resonate with you, please feel free to check out another pile number 1 or pile number 2. Feel free to like, share, or subscribe. Likes really help the video and bring people here. You know, I want to make sure these messages get out. So feel free to share and just like the video. I really appreciate you. Again, thank you so much for your time. This is Anurakti Tarot. Many blessings to you and yours. Okay, pile number 2. Let's get it. Pile number 2, you picked this beautiful stone, Citrine. So I'm going to tell you right now, already what I heard when I was pulling the piles, when I was working on your pile. One thing that I got from this pile, from this crystal, you're somebody that really likes glass. You love working with glass. You love being in the sun. You could have a studio that has a lot of sunlight. You could have a house with a lot of windows, like really huge windows. I was even seeing a glass house with this. So you could be somebody that's very inspired by glass. You could be somebody that works with glass, that maybe creates bongs or creates vases or creates dishes. For sure. You like this, you could have a sunroom or a greenhouse. I definitely saw that also. 88,288. Pal number 12. So let's get into what sparks your creativity. We have these cards here which tell us what this creativity is helping you to achieve. We just got some oracle over here. We're just going to pull out the tarot, which I'm trying to get to. An oracle here. So what sparks pile number 2's creativity before I start? Spirit guides, angels, ascended masters, thank you for clearing this space. Anything that is not here of the highest and greatest good, you must leave immediately. You are not welcome here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We use our gifts for the highest and greatest good of all. And to raise the vibration of this planet is why we use our gifts. Thank you. So, pile number 2. So, what sparks your creativity? Like I said, I already heard glass, spending time in the sun. Glass is very important to you. So, you pulled here the Hermit, the Nine of Cups, and the Ace of Earth. This is beautiful. So, you pulled the Hermit. You're somebody that loves antiques. So you're very, very inspired by antique items. You could also be very inspired by the Japanese culture. And when I say the Japanese culture, like the art of Zen, you could definitely be a Buddhist for sure. I'm definitely seeing somebody that could be a Buddhist, somebody that could be a Buddhist, or somebody that has Buddhist tattoos, somebody that's very much in the flow of a Zen life. You have a lot of plants in your house. You have a lot of vegetation in your house. Like I said, you could have a beautiful, lush, like garden or greenhouse. But what inspires you could definitely spending time with elders. Like I said, going to antique shops, going to antique shows is something that inspires you. Also, you could have like an older relative, a grandmother or a grandfather that you're really, really close with. Maybe their stories inspire you a lot. I'm definitely feeling their stories could inspire you. They just make you feel very fulfilled and happy. You also like antique or vintage clothes also. So you probably are somebody that goes to a lot of estate sales. You go to a lot of garage sales. You go to a lot of vintage stores, antique stores. You could go thrifting a lot. You definitely rummage through like your grandparents or any elderly person's stuff. Like if you have access to it, you're going to go through it if they give you access to it. So you're definitely inspired by like vintage and antique. You love a lot of vintage movies, black and white movies, or just old movies. Elizabeth Taylor, people like that. You could definitely be really inspired by old school movies and vintage movies. What else sparks your creativity? Pile number 2. You put her Justice. I love this card. I'm in love with you, pile number 2. Temperance and the World card. This is really incredible. So, couple of things that you're inspired by. This is awesome, by the way. You have a lot of really great things coming. But aside that, what sparks your creativity? The World card. You're inspired by travel. You're inspired by other cultures. Again, like I said, it could be the Japanese culture. It could be a Filipino culture. But I'm feeling very like Asian-esque cultures. If not, it could definitely be your own native culture. I am feeling Moroccan and some Nigerian influence here for sure. Definitely some African influence. Also native influence for sure. Native, when I say native, I mean indigenous people of the Americas. So, like I said, definitely feeling inspired by your own indigenous culture. This can be also the Taino culture, by the way, because I see a lot of feathers here. So you could definitely be somebody, you could possibly be an islander, or your background is from the island. So you could definitely be inspired from when you just go and visit, you know, your home or whatever island you're from. If not, you're just somebody that's inspired by, like I said, other cultures, other religions, because we have the World and Temperance. Both of these cards represents travel. You could also be very, very inspired by art. You're somebody that likes to go to art galleries. You love to go to art shows. You love to go to like spoken word events. With the Justice card here, you could also be inspired by like great acts of like acrobatics. So you could love to go and see like Cirque de la Soul. You could also be inspired by pole dancers also, maybe just like the art of pole dancing for sure. So this pile is inspired by glass, vintage, antiques, pole dancing, different cultures like the Zen culture, more island cultures for sure. That's what sparks your creativity. That's kind of those aesthetics. Let's keep going. So here we pulled the Moon, which is feelings. I definitely feel like you're somebody that is definitely in tune with your emotions. Instinct, nurturing, which is all about that Zen, kind of carefree. Gut reactions, comfort, digestion, home, family, conditioning, habits, femininity, lineage, privacy, embodiment, emotions, sustenance, self-soothing, moods, and mother. So what I'm going to say automatically when I'm filling off this pile number 2, is that you could also be somebody that's trying to heal a lot of family issues. So maybe you do come from a family that has kind of been programmed or westernized to some sort of condition, and you're kind of helping your family return to that. So say for example, if your family is all about getting perms, not that there's anything wrong with perms or wigs, there's nothing wrong with it. Be you. What I'm just saying here is that we make sure you do things for the fulfillment because you want to, not because you feel like it sets you apart, not because you feel like it's something that you have to do, or because you feel like it's more socially acceptable. Do what feels right to you, and I feel like you do that. And I feel like that maybe you're healing that in your family. So like I said, if you come from a family where they get a lot of perms or get their hair pressed, or wear a lot of weaves and stuff like that, you kind of inspire people to return to their roots. Like, yay, it's okay to do that, but it's also okay to be you. There's nothing wrong with your hair. There's nothing wrong with the way you look. There's nothing wrong with our natural state. Like, we're naturally beautiful people. I feel like that's what you communicate to your family a lot. So you could be somebody that's very inspired by, like I said, very natural, earthy browns and reds and clay. You could be really good with clay. I did say glass earlier, but you could be somebody that loves like pottery and things like that. And I could definitely see you being very successful in that. Also, pile number 2, you pull Mercury, which is communication. Words, thoughts, analysis. I just completely feel that, like I said, of doing things not because they're socially acceptable. Like if you want to wear a wig because you feel like, oh, I have to because I'm ashamed of my hair, or because it's not socially acceptable to wear an afro. You're somebody that's like, no, rock it and be you. It's who you are. God made you perfectly. I definitely feel this with this pile. So you could definitely, like I said, be inspired by your native culture, other cultures, indigenous cultures. Definitely being inspired by antiques, glass, vintage. And you could be somebody that's very into like Black Panthers, how they wore their hair. You could be very familiar with Angela Davis. Giovanni, I forget her name. Nikki Giovanni is another one. Maya Angelou, Zane. You could definitely be a reader also here. Ideas, smarts, reporting, awareness, visions, lens, palette, perception, curiosity, narrative, muse, and wonder. So I definitely say you're a beautiful person. You're definitely somebody that probably does a lot of different styles. So I have to say that with the world card, like you do a bunch of different things. You've probably had every single hairstyle under the sun. And people like that about you, that you're very different. You're very free in expressing yourself through your style, but it comes from a very genuine place because you're okay with you being yourself. So you're definitely, like I said, inspired by other cultures, getting more in tune with your roots and knowing more about your roots, and maybe even incorporating like the feathers in the hair, or things like that also. So this is definitely what I would say and sparks your creativity. So continuing the chakras, I love this card. You could definitely be somebody that is inspired by colors. You like to wear a lot of colorful clothes. You also pull death. So you're also somebody that's very inspired by going through a lot of changes, changing your hair, changing your makeup, completely throwing clothes out. You could one day be like really gothic, and then the next day you're dressed like the rainbow, you know. Nature also, like I said, you're a very natural person. You could love to spend time outside under trees. I see a lot of trees, but you like trees with blossoms on them. You like trees with flowers. You could also like the Christmas time. I feel that also. You also pull forgiveness, reducing burdens. So educating your community on loving themselves, loving their natural state. Like I said, forgiving, you know, maybe your community, or you know, your group for maybe not having certain education on programming. Definitely being inspired by the truth. You're definitely strongly inspired by the truth. You could also be somebody that fights on behalf of the underprivileged, or people that don't, that may have had to take a certain route in life, and it is allowing them to be successful. So you could definitely be somebody that stands up for them, that protects them. You always keep an eye on them. You know, that's also something that inspires you, is your own people. Also here, look, Queen of Creating Beauty. Oh my goodness, like I said, you do a lot of different hairstyles. She got her hair up, she got it long, it could possibly short. Nobody really knows what's quite going on. You've done a lot of different hairstyles. Also here, you put aspiration. So you could be somebody that aspires to be prolific in the community, that aspires you could be somebody that speaks out a lot about indigenous problems, and things like that. Western civilizations and things like that, how they can kind of hurt the natural delicateness of some indigenous cultures. So what is this, your creativity helping you to achieve? The Empress, pure and utter beauty. Also nurturing, being supportive of people. It's also helping you to make people be more practical in their approaches to beauty and how they approach life. Like I said, also thrifting and being in vintage shopping also helps recycle items. So you could also be somebody that's huge on recycling. Two of Swords, kind of helping people to see past this double-edged sword of like, yeah, maybe it makes you feel better because you know it's more socially acceptable, but does it make you feel better? It's kind of like that. Giving people good news, helping people work through those creative blocks based on what society has put on them, and let them know, hey, it's okay to be you and be your own beautiful self. Love where you are completely. This creative ability is helping you to teach other people to love where they are. You're also teaching people how to ignite their own creativity, be inspired by their own beauty, not feeling like they have to look like everybody else. You also pull Darkest Before the Dawn. So sometimes this can maybe cause arguments or rifts in relationships. You communicate this, but it's fine. And also you pull Follow Your Bliss. So like I said, you could definitely be somebody that's really inspired by antiques. You could have a lot of artwork also in your home. Vintage shopping, vintage and antiques for sure. So pile number 2, that was your reading. I'm going to move on to pile number 3. My battery's low, that's why I am going to move on to pile number 3. So if that didn't resonate with you, check out number 1 or number 3, which is next. Number 1 or pile number 3. Again, like, share, or subscribe. I really appreciate your support and your love. Anurakti Tarot is forever grateful. So thank you for checking in. Pile number 3, you got rose quartz. So automatically, I'm just going to tell you, I feel like you're inspired by spending a lot of time alone. You're inspired, you get inspired when you are sitting in the damn bathtub. Excuse my language. So these are going to tell me what your creativity is helping you to achieve. We pulled some oracle. We got some tarot. You pulled a lot of, what is it helping you to achieve? You did pull a lot of extra cards, more than any other deck. More than any other pile, I should say. So pile number 3, let's find out what sparks your creativity. Like I said, the rose quartz, you could like the color pink a lot. Or maybe you have a sister here. So you could be very connected to a sister. There's a female you're very strongly connected with that maybe takes you on different ventures. It kind of opens up that fun-loving part of you, that self-love part of you. Just cleansing spirit guides, angels, and masters. Anything that is not of the highest and greatest good is no longer welcome here and must leave immediately. We use our gifts for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you so much for our physical, emotional, and financial substance. We are forever grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Continue to protect us and guide us. All right, let's get in. Pile number 1, you are inspired completely by your intuition. You're a witch. Pile number 3, excuse me, you're a witch. Also here, I got to tell you, the first thing I felt like you were inspired by, it may sound weird, but you could be inspired by the casino or gambling. So you could go to the casino and feel very, very inspired. You could sit and people watch. You could gamble yourself, but you like numbers and gambling. You're also inspired by the moon, like I said. In tune with your own emotions. You could be inspired by other very feminine energy, the 3 of water. You could really love spending time with friends. You could definitely feel very inspired when you're having, you have a very special connection with a female or 2 other females. When you spend time with them, it's like your creative abilities just flow. Maybe you guys have conversations that you're not able to have with everybody else. I have to turn these cards around because these are just so beautiful. And I really want you to see like how radiant of a being you are, pile number 3. I love you too. I love all my pals. I'm in love with you too, pile number 3 and pile number 1. So definitely inspired by the Hermetics. You could be a tarot reader. You could do different forms of divination. You can read skulls. You're somebody that studies a lot. You're definitely just inspired by other tarot readers. You're inspired by the unknown. You love going into dark spaces. You love the underworld for sure. Definitely could be somebody that loves working in the underworld, the dark arts, the industry for sure. You're highly inspired by the industry. Celebrities, like celebrities that that maybe aren't mainstream. And when I mean mainstream, I mean that maybe not everybody is aware of, but maybe like the culture is, or maybe Tainos are, or maybe like Princess Nokia or Ari, or who else is another one? I mean, there's so many people that are very, very famous, but everybody doesn't really recognize or know who they are. So this is definitely saying you could be inspired by those celebrities. Also here you pulled the 5 of Swords. You're inspired by getting away with a lot. You're also inspired by sex. Sex inspires you. And you're also inspired by your gardens. You could definitely be a gardener for sure. 5 of Swords here is telling me you're definitely inspired by strategic thought. You probably like chess, or you probably like to play pool. You maybe like to do any games that you could like play video games like battling. I don't know what they call them, like different video games. Grand Theft Auto, or like combat with the shooting games. You can be very inspired by shooting games also. That's what inspires you. Herbs also inspire you. So seeing like a garden is very inspirational towards you, to you. Tea also gets your creativity flowing, so make sure you keep drinking tea. Let's see what else sparks your creativity. 10th house, which is reputation. Like I said, I said that when I was speaking about fame, being very inspired by celebrities. Career responsibilities, achievement, competence, fame, notoriety, standing, authority figures, legacy, purpose, pinnacle, the patriarchy, and the empire. So like I said, definitely being inspired by celebrities, being inspired by things that people wear on the red carpet, being inspired by fashion shows. 7th house, partners, companionships, best friends, marriage, relationships, opposition, equilibrium, sharing, communion, justice, balance, and social awareness. So you could definitely be somebody that is, like I said, you're highly spiritual. So any spiritual books that you pick up, anything connected to spirituality, I mean, any retreat you're going to go on. This also reminds me that you're somebody that gets inspired when you go on vacation. So making sure you take vacations often is important to you. Make sure that, just pray that you always have that means to go on those vacations that you need. You maybe haven't went on one in a very long time. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see you've been kind of like just nurturing and working through some, you know, working through other issues. So right now you may have not even taken a vacation in over a year. It is definitely time for you to do that. Bring pile number 3 vacation. Spirit guides, angels, send masters, bless pile number 3 with a vacation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For their highest and greatest good. Some sort of retreat. Okay, also what sparks your creativity? You pull tea leaves. Here we got tea again. So you got tea twice. Definitely tea. Tea and herbs. You could be somebody that does tea leaf readings. Also messages. When I saw messages and feathers, you could definitely be inspired by birds. You could definitely be inspired by, I know this may sound different, but biblical verses or quotes. I definitely heard that also when I pulled messages. That could also be that could be something that sparks your creativity. You also pull Queen of Self-Discovery. So I love this because in spirituality, you can only go deeper. You can only learn more about yourself. There's so much to learn. I mean, it can never end. So for me, you're definitely inspired by continuing. And we got the owl on here. Like I said, the night. You're also somebody that's very connected to the night. So you could definitely have messages in pile number 2 because they pulled the moon card. And was it pile number 1? I think it was pile number 1. I think it was pile number 1 that put the moon card. So you could definitely be inspired by the nighttime. That's what inspires you. That's probably when your skills are the most sharpest or when you feel the most alert. So being open to that nighttime life, you could probably be somebody that works at night. And it's perfect for you. I mean, you have all these eyes. You ain't missing nothing. That's all I got to say. What else also inspires you? Sweetness and synergy. So you could be somebody that likes a little honey. You like honey in your tea. You could definitely be somebody that's inspired by the Halloween. You could love Halloween, of course. You could definitely be somebody that likes to cook. Also, I do pick this up. This is somebody that likes to cook. So you could love spending a lot of time in the kitchen. You could love watching cooking shows. That's definitely something that sparks your creativity. You also got ancestors and remembrance. For me, this is just saying that you're definitely inspired by ancient wisdom, which is all about spirituality. Being connected to the hermetics, being connected to the unknown, being connected to the underworld, being connected to the industry, really knowing the ins and outs and the secrets. You're really inspired by secret knowledge. That's what inspires you. Here, and I have to say that because look how he's kind of hiding behind this. That will be a rose to me. This to me will mean that somebody is enveloped in a rose. So you could definitely be the rose that grew through concrete. You could definitely be somebody that has went through a lot and had a lot of trauma in your life, which prompted you to move towards this spirituality. So definitely saying that you're definitely somebody that's also inspired by flowers, herbs. You're inspired by death. You're inspired by, these really hard, difficult transitions. And you also got the number 7 here also. Look at that. The number 7 is here again. So, and you put this number 7 is here and the number 7. So you got 3 7s. You got 3 7s and 2 5s. I'm gonna write that down. Y'all know how I do. So you got 55, 7 7 7 again. Awesome. You got 10, which is 1. You got 3. You got 9. You got 2. All right. So 55, 7 7 7. You could be somebody that experiences a lot of luck. You could definitely be somebody that do spells. You're inspired by spell work. This is cool. This is awesome. So also truth. The reason you're inspired by the truth is because it helps you stay on your path. So you could definitely be somebody that's inspired by the color purple. You could love the color purple. You also are somebody that's inspired by these bittersweet instances that you went through. Maybe you left a relationship and you had to leave a pet behind. And that could be something that it was bittersweet because you knew it was something that you had to do, but it was still very difficult. For sure, but it's like you were inspired by that transition, maybe because you and this animal are spiritually connected still. It could be a lot of different reasons. We all have our own reasons. So You definitely are inspired, again, by secret knowledge, ghosts. You're definitely giving me Morticia vibes, Elvira vibes. So what is this helping you to achieve? This is helping you to protect people. Your spiritual gifts help you to protect people. It also helps you to protect yourself. It also helps you to set boundaries. This is what your creativity does. It helps you to set boundaries. It helps you to take higher ground. It also helps you to keep the advantage. And there's another 7, y'all. There's a 7 right there. There's a 7. Where the other 7 at? That's a 7 and 7. So we got 4 7s here. Anyway, continuing on. The Two of Pentacles. This is also, your creativity is helping you to achieve financial balance and emotional balance. This is helping you to maybe balance more assets. Maybe you have more assets coming in. Balancing, maybe you have more than one job or more than one like side hustle. More than one entrepreneur business that you're running yourself. So for me, this is definitely saying your creativity is helping you to master and juggle those efficiently. The Judgment card here, I don't know what just happened there. The Judgment card, but the 4 of Pentacles want to flip on top. Anyway, weird things happen. Judgment card here is definitely telling me that this creativity is helping you to answer every single call, not miss any opportunities, but it's also helping you to awaken like ancient secret knowledge from your ancestors. It's also helping your relationship to thrive also. Your creativity, you're very, very creative in style, but more than anything, it's in the bedroom is what I'm feeling. You're very, very creative in the bedroom. You're even outside. Maybe you do a lot of role playing and things like that. Your creativity is definitely helping your relationship. The stability in your relationship. It's like it never gets old. You could have been with somebody for 25 years and this person is not tired of you. And it's not even getting there. There's nowhere close to it with the Judgment card. This is somebody that like, they always feel like they get something new with you. They always feel like it's new with you, you know? 4 of Pentacles, your creativity is helping you to maintain stability. It's helping you to grow your savings. Your savings is looking good. Your checking account is looking good. And if it ain't, it will be. For sure, with the 4 of Pentacles here, it's helping you to gain assets. Congratulations, because you will be buying a home. Also here with the 4 of Pentacles, make sure you had a housewarming party and you let people know what you like and things like that, because you're definitely getting a house here also. So your creativity is helping you to achieve buying a house. It's helping your relationship to stay long lasting, get healthy. It's helping you to manage all these 2 businesses that you have. It also helps you to protect people, take higher ground, and have the advantage. And it separates yourself from your peers, your enemies, and even competition. Also here, the 9 of Swords. Your creativity is helping you to get rid of anxiety. It's helping you to build willpower. This is also practicing like magic from within, like animalistic behaviors, kind of lower vibrational habits and things like that. So your creativity is also helping you to spark loyalty, maybe loyalty for people around you. Your creativity is also helping you. You're really good with animals. You're really good at training animals. You could train animals. You could teach dogs really, really quickly. Cats. I mean, I don't know if I never really had a cat, but definitely dogs for sure. Maybe even horses, maybe wild animals. Maybe you have like a pet duck. Maybe you got like, I don't know, like you have some pets that most people wouldn't have. A pet snake. You know, so this is definitely having really well-trained animals also. The Ace of Wands here is definitely helping you start new projects. Your creativity is just bringing on a lot of new projects. It also is bringing on a lot of sexual energy, a lot of attraction. So if you're a female, your creativity is sparking a lot of attraction, a lot of male attraction and attention here. I mean, this is a phallic symbol. We all know what this is. This is wood in his hand. So, also you could be somebody that's really good at building. Maybe you have a tree house. Maybe you're going to build a tree house. I did hear that. Maybe you kind of live in the woods. Maybe you kind of live in a country area. That's very, very inspiring towards you. The future you are the future you now. I would like to say about this palette, it's important for you to stay out of the city. Like, don't live in the city. If you do live in the city, try to find somewhere where you have a lot of land, where you have a lot of privacy, because that energy is very stifling for you, pile number 3. So again, this can be also maybe you live on a reserve, like a native reserve or something like that. That is very inspirational towards you. It's very, very inspiring towards you. Maybe it's the nature or the birds around you. But pile number 3, this is what I have for what sparks your creativity. I know I keep saying what inspires you, but it's the same thing. So again, thank you so much for checking in with Anurakti Tarot. Blessings to all. Like, share, or subscribe. Get those likes up. They always help support the channel. They bring people here so they know, so they can get the messages they need to hear from spirit or from their ancestors or spirit guides. If this pile didn't resonate with you, please feel free to check out pile number 1 or pile number 2. Again, I'm so grateful for your presence and your support. It means the world to me. Feel free to check link in the description box if you're interested in a private reading. I post daily on Instagram. I post free readings. I kind of teach tarot a little bit. I apply a video or give some sort of cultural reference towards the tarot card. Also, and yeah, you also get to know what's going to be previewed next. So again, thank you so much for checking in with Anurakti Tarot. I'm super grateful for you all. Blessings and much prosperity. And I'm gonna send you guys off with some really cleansing and high vibrational energy. May you have mental clarity, and may you continue to be blessed with abundant creativity that allows you to flourish here in this lifetime, in every single dimension, and on every single plane, in every level of existence. Thank you, thank you, thank you.